the marquee Sky game this weekend. It's Tottenham versus Liverpool, and arguably the game of the weekend. We'll take a look at the betting as we have it at matchbook.com. Tottenham can be backed at 3.5 or 5-2. Liverpool are 2.18, and the draw is available at 3.85. Both teams to score yes is 1.6 and no is 2.5. And the Asian handicap line sees Spurs get a quarter of a goal head start at 2.08, and the goal line is 2 3/4. So yeah, Miguel, this is a massive game, and take it back to Conte's and Tottenham during the week. I saw a great tweet at halftime saying Conte's in the stands for this game, and that might not be necessarily a bad thing to watch a Spurs team play and maybe try and find ways of fixing it. But look, they got the job done.
Yeah, there was the other one going around about the kickoff time as well. Given so many of Spurs' performance recently, like come late in games, and Dan Kilpatrick, who works at the Evening Standard, had that one about they're actually the complete opposite of Mourinho teams in the sense that Mourinho's team would get a lead, sit deep, and get done, whereas Conte teams would feel give up a lead and then go for it. It's quite an interesting one, and I suppose it's two teams that have actually come off concerns with pretty rousing wins. Now, Liverpool's need is a little bit greater because I suppose that win over Napoli, not that it was deceptive, but we shouldn't overlook the fact they've lost 2 very forgiving games in a row in the Premier League, which means they really need something. They need to come out strong. And it's against a Spurs side who can be got at, but clearly also have a real emotional resilience about them. And I think all that feeds into quite a chaotic and potentially a classic Premier League game in that regard. I think there's going to be a lot of fire in this. And actually, I think that both of their games last season were actually among the games of the season. The one in December, just before Christmas, remember, it was rip-roaring. And then the one that basically cost Liverpool the title was in a game. I think it does feel as if these two managers' approaches suit each other quite well in terms of the football that's produced. There's a good clash. Now, I suppose one caveat to that at the moment is that neither team are playing their approaches in the way either manager idealized. Klopp is obviously still trying to figure out formation or still figure out approach. And Conte, well, I mean, as has been said a lot on this podcast, it's not quite a Conte team yet. But because of all that and because of the need for the teams, because of the way they set up against each other, I'm going for goals. And I've gone for over 2.5, and I'm now thinking that's actually a little conservative.
Well, I'll throw to you the opposite argument with Adrian. So Miguel touched very briefly on the opposite argument, which is maybe this season and Conte quite hasn't got it yet with Spurs, Adrian, which I'm guessing is your angle here. Or?
It's a funny game. It's a funny game because I think I could find a way, like Miguel has, to argue for goals. You could, but I am going to attempt to argue against it. I think that the line feels high. So I've gone with under 3, whereby you need 4 goals to lose your money. The reason being, I think Spurs are a poor first half side, but at the same time, Liverpool are a team that keeps being slow starters themselves, don't they? So when that happens, when you throw that into the mix, we might have a surprisingly dour first half where Liverpool are absolutely desperate not to concede the first goal, and Spurs likewise they're trying to stabilise before a second half push. I can see this one being a little bit of a slow burner. We've got to obviously mention the fact that Son is out. So it's a big reliance on Kane. And even though Son's not had a good season, he is a real connector, isn't he, between defence and attack. And I don't know what the state of play is with Kulusevski. I know that Moura will probably play in Son's absence, but he's a little bit short of game time. So how much impact he can have, I don't know. I just feel that Conte is naturally pragmatic, especially in matches like this. So he'll have the 3 centre halves. He'll have the wing backs when Liverpool are attacking. He'll be frustrating, and he'll have those midfielders screening pretty deep, looking for the counters. And Liverpool, I found it quite tough to break those kind of teams down, haven't they? In the past few years, Liverpool have also been wasteful. No one's had more shots than Liverpool this season, but their conversion rate is their lowest for I think 7 or 8 years. It's I think 10%. It's around 10% conversion rate. And are Spurs going to offer Liverpool up a lot of chances in this game? I don't know. I don't necessarily think they will. So I think this is a match that looks like it's going to be a classic that might end up being the opposite. I'm not saying it's going to be boring, but I'm not sure it's going to live up to the hype. So yeah, under 3 is my pick, but it is a tough one to call in my opinion.
Well, Mark has gone for a team on the Asian handicap, but I know, Mark, you would have had a look at this goal line. So if you were in my shoes, where would you lean in terms of over-unders before you make your picks?
That's your job.
I know, that's true.
I can see both arguments. I mean, when I first looked at the game, I thought goals, but then I looked at the line and actually sort of probably more on the side of Adrian and the fact that you can get under 3 at a price requiring 4 to lose your bet. The issue I have when you back under 3 is 0, 1 or 2 goals to get paid, and it doesn't require a huge amount for over 1.5 goals to cop. And anyway, I'm not getting involved in goals because. But when I did look at this game first, I thought, is there a way I can oppose both teams, because neither of them are particularly playing well right now. But I do lean Spurs, and that's down to price. Liverpool 2.2 to win away at Tottenham, just far too short for me. I'm not sure how you can come to that price. I have this game as an each of 2, really, around about 275. So there's a big difference there. Obviously, the market was almost always right, but I'm happy to sort of take them on this time around. And Tottenham have drifted a lot in the past couple of days, purely down to the Son news, the injury there. They're going to be without Kulusevski and Richarlison as well, which does damage them going forward. However, I do think stylistically this match could suit them because, as we say, they like to play in counterattacks and transitions, and Liverpool aren't exactly going to be sitting off, are they? They're going to take the game to Spurs. That is their style. That tends to be their approach too. So, they are going to be the aggressors, the proactive team, and it might allow Tottenham to play deep and play in transitions to the way in which they want to play, because their chance creation from open play hasn't been good enough against deep blocks, but nor has Liverpool's either in that sense. But Liverpool's defensive record, at least in recent weeks, has been dreadful, and that's a massive concern. I know there's only Kane sort of leading that line, but he's one of the best strikers in the world. So if he's given 1 or 2 opportunities, you'd expect him to take at least one. The diamond shape was exposed by Leeds. They're struggling to find a system to suit. Injuries, balance, whatever you want to call it, fatigue, it's all working against them. But their ranking is the 10th best expected goals against figure for Liverpool so far this season. It's 1.64 XG against per game. They've conceded at least 1 expected goal in every game since August. The last 3 games are averaging 2.27 XG against, and that's come against West Ham, Forest, and Leeds. Hardly the most glittering of attacks the Premier League can offer. So, Alisson, you'd probably say, is the only player performing close to par or above par in that sort of rear guard at the minute. So, Liverpool do have a great head-to-head record against Spurs. Whether that's feeding into the market opinion here, I'm not sure. But they're winless in 5 away this season. They've taken 7 points from the last 6 games. They can't be 2.2 at Tottenham, regardless of Son being fit or available. So Spurs plus half a goal at 1.8 for me.
Yeah. Just a quick one, Mark. Do you think Conte will play? Because I thought he was quite impressive against Napoli, and Gomez has not been great, has he? I think he might make a positive difference. Yeah,
I mean, Gomez for most of the season has not been good enough. But you think of how he performed against Man City. He was one of, if not the man of the match of the game. So. Yeah. I'm not sure it makes a massive difference, to be honest, Adrian, at the minute. I just think at the minute it's the system that's letting them down rather than the individuals. And we can sort of pick out Trent Alexander-Arnold or Gomez or whoever else and suggest that they're all sort of falling down, which they are. But I think that the actual system is the more which needs fixed right now.
Yeah, I think we'll lock in Spurs, Mark. Spurs half a goal at 1.8, because I do agree that when I saw the match odds of 5-2. 3.5 on Matchbook, they did jump off the page. So if you're getting half your bet on draw no bet, half your bet on Spurs +1 at 1.8, I think it's worth a play there. So we'll lock that in as an official bet. But if you want overs or unders, you know who to blame if they don't come in. So